let's just get going. And I'm just going to mute all. Yeah, there we go. Welcome to Digital Communicators. It's Monday, 11th of January. It's 6:30 p.m. UK time, and we are on. We are live. It gives me great pleasure to welcome our Vice President of Technology. Please welcome Joseph Oldham.
Thank you very much, Nick. Welcome, fellow Toastmasters and guests. This meeting of digital communicators has now begun. Guests, please note that in order to be a member of our club, you must be a current or former active member of Toastmasters International and have completed at least 6 speeches from either the traditional or the Pathways programme. Or you must have substantive relevant presentation experience that you demonstrate in a 3 to 5 minute speech delivered during one of our club meetings. All requests for membership are subject to Executive Board approval. If you've not already done so, please change your panel to ensure it shows your name and your role, if you have one. For those of you who are not sure how to do this, you can right-click and select Rename to do so. We have members and often guests from many countries throughout the world. Thus, as a professional organisation, we ask that you please be aware of language or word usage that may be considered offensive or otherwise insensitive due to cultural differences. Please note that we will be recording the meeting. Your video and audio contributions may be used for club marketing purposes. Also, can I please ask that you mute your microphones when you are not speaking? Today's theme is lights, camera, action. So without further ado, please welcome our club president, distinguished Toastmaster, Nick Lacani.
Thank you very much, Joseph. Thank you. Welcome to our new club, Digital Communicators. Thank you for joining us. On New Year's Eve, we had a meeting about this club. There was Ola Olaigbe, Joseph Oldham, Julian Saraseda, and myself. I asked the question, are we doing this? Are we going to start this new club called Digital Communicators? Yes, 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 they cried. 11 days later, we have a website. We can sign people up for meetings. We can run the meetings. We fill the roles. We can process applications for membership, and we can take your investments in your future by joining Digital Communicators. Yes, we are ready. This is a sister club to Manchester Communicators, which chartered on August 2019. President then was Julian Saraseda. His vision was to open a club every year in the Communicators family. Thank you to current President Pei Rong Chen and the Executive Board for their hard work and the support, and also for sponsoring this new club. 4 of us have been joined by DTM, Pamela Benjamin from Texas, and we've had a number of inquiries in the last 48 hours to join and become charter members of this wonderful club. So what's different about Digital Communicators? Well, we have experience in some of the best clubs in the world, like Online Presenters, which is the largest online club in the world, especially in District U. I'm proud to be president there. We have award winners. District 71 Toastmaster of the Year was myself, and Area Director of the Year in D71 was Julian Saraseda. We will focus on people who already speak reasonably well, but want to improve their online presence and be an expert in digital communication. What's in it for our members? Well, we want to have a positive impact outside of Toastmasters. We're working online so much nowadays. We want our members to succeed in getting their next promotion, their new job, their next new client. We want to be experts in digital communication in the Toastmaster world and beyond. Our meetings will start and end on time. Our timers will mute anyone going over, so better watch out. Each meeting will run like a TV show. Today, we have a live reporter doing a new role. He will produce a 2-minute report. At the end of the meeting, a 2-minute video report that will be shared on the website tomorrow. From next time, we will also have a producer who will deliver the show live, like if it's to the studio audience. We'll, as I said, 75 minutes of action-packed, fun speeches, evaluations, and a very different table topics today, UA. Mostly, we want to get to know you, our new friends, have fun with you, and that's the best way to learn. I'm also Toastmaster of the day today, and the team today, as Joseph pointed out, was lights, camera, action. And we have a show to bring on today. The first person I'd like to introduce in our team who's going to help us today is our timer. Please give a really warm hand for Pam Rowley.
Thank you, Nick. So as Nick said, my job today is the timer. Each role will have different times allocated, but when you see the green card, that means you've qualified, but you need to start thinking about finishing your speech. The amber and the red is when you have run out of time. Times will be different for different speeches. So for the prepared speeches, for Julian, his time will be 13, 14 and 15. And I've been given permission to mute him 30 seconds after that. For Lois, will be 5, 6 and red at 7. For the table topics, each table topic will see green at 1 minute, yellow at 1:30 and red at 2, and they have a 30-second grace period before they'll be muted. And as Nick said before, slightly different evaluations on table topics tonight. There'll be shotgun evaluations where a member of the audience will be picked to give the evaluation, and they will have 30, 45 seconds or 1 minute, and they only have 5 seconds to go over before they'll be muted. Thank you. Back to you, Nick.
Thank you very much, Pam. Well done. Our next helper today is our grammarian all the way from Ireland. Please welcome Colette Ainscoe.
Good evening, Mr. Toastmaster, the esteemed DTM, that is Nick Lacani, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My role this evening is that of grammarian, and I have 3 tasks. The first of which is to introduce to you a word of the day. And the word of the day is both a noun and a verb. It's called show. Examples of this being used as a noun is the show that will be put on by digital communicators is sure to be enjoyable and educational. An example of a verb is there are many distinguished Toastmasters here this evening who will show us their public speaking skills. I also have a second task, and that is to look out for English language usage, focusing of course on the positive. And finally, at the second part of the meeting, I will come back to you with a report of my observations. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Colette. Now, our next helper, as I mentioned earlier, this is a new role. I don't know whether anybody's ever heard of this. We're going to have a live reporter. To explain what he's going to do, please welcome from our sister club, Manchester Communicators, the very esteemed Mr. Roger Mejias.
Fellow Toastmasters, today I am a professional reporter coming from Manchester Communicators. My superior sent me, and my task today, we heard some rumors that there is this advanced club being set up, and you know, they've sent me to take some notes to find out what are the things that they're doing that are so advanced. How are they going to live up to this name? And then with that information, I will probably report on some of the good things that they do. In the end, I'm going to give you a 2-minute summary. And I might put some of my thoughts into the chat box as well as we go along. So you might look out for that. Thank you. And back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Roger. Really appreciate that. And those of you who don't know where our website is, it's where you signed up. We will be putting contact details in the chat every so often. Now, it is 16:40 or 18:40 or 6:40 p.m. London time. And the agenda says we have to start our speeches. Distinguished Toastmaster Julian Saraceda is a founding member of 2 Toastmaster clubs in Manchester, in England, and one of the minds behind this club, Digital Communicators. He's also D71 Area Director of the Year and a passionate individual about digital communication. He has written a book called Zoom Like a Pro, and that is the title of his speech. For a time of 13 to 15 minutes, with the speech titled Zoom Like a Pro, please give a very warm hand for Julian Saraceda.
Thank you very much, Nick Lacani, for that fantastic presentation. And it's true, I wrote a book, Zoom Like a Pro. And since I wrote this book, my mother every single day asks me, how do I look good on camera? How do I look good on Zoom? Mama, you look beautiful, no matter what you do. No, Julia, don't tell me those things. I want to look good. Shall I buy this camera? Shall I buy this microphone? Shall I buy this light ring? If you are like my mother, that think that maybe going to the clinic is the best way to improve your image on camera, let me tell you something. It is not. Here, in this short presentation, we are going to see 3 things you can do from now to improve your presence on camera. And we are going to see as well one thing, one call to action that you can start doing to improve your presence on camera. Are we ready? I hope so, because we start with something that some of you might be aware. Framing. What is framing? Framing is the area, the camera records, is the space we are showing to our audience. So here there are several things. If we are far away from the camera, we are going to be showing a lot. If we are very close to the camera, we are going to show less. Let's have a quick look to the main shots we can use. A general shot. This is the shot where you can see the presenter and the surrounding area. Ideal for those of you who are ugly. Yes, some of you can use this very well because you will be so far away from the camera that nobody is gonna see your facial expressions. No, seriously, although we might not use this shot now, in few months, once we are all vaccinated and we come back to the rooms, we are going to start using it. Why? Because it is likely that we will have an on-site audience and online audience. For that online audience, we need a general shot to show them what is going on. Now, we can use as well a full shot. That is the shot that goes from the head to the toes. Ideal for those of you who love speaking and presenting standing up, because this shot will show all your movements. Again, the distance is far away from the camera. So if you are very confident and want to show off your beauty on camera, get closer. Cowboy shot. Yes, this is the shot used in the Hollywood movies before the bang, bang, bang shooting. And this shot goes from the head to the hips and is ideal for those presenters who move a lot. It's very powerful. Remember, when using this, you have to stand up. There is nothing good of using this shot when you are standing down. Now, let me show you my favorite one. Yes, the close-up shot. And that is not other than what you can see here, from the head to the chest. For those ladies who have a job here, is ideal. Yes, because you can show off and you don't need to say anything else. Anyway, this is really good because it allows you a lot of space and you can move your hands, as you can see. This is ideal to use standing up or sitting down. Yes, is my favorite, as you can see. However, many people prefer to use another one. The extreme close shot. This is a shot where you are very close to the camera. The problem with this shot is that when you move the hands, they are outside the framing and we cannot see them. Here, when we speak in front of the camera, we have to be very mindful that many of body language is lost, and the hands are the ones that can help us to convey our message. So make sure that you keep at least your hands in frame. Also, when you use extreme close up, there is a problem. What advantage? You build closeness. And you know what happened with closeness, isn't it? That after a time you get bored. So what is good is to change this one and use this shot. If you really want to give a big announcement, for instance, you can pause, come close to the camera, close to the camera. The closer you get to the camera, the more attention you will draw and say, join digital communicators. And then come back. Voila! No bad, isn't it? But it's not only about framing, it's about camera angle as well. Please tell me, who of these speakers you see in front of you, you think have the most professional look in front of the camera? If you think that is the one on the left, please show one finger to the camera. If you think is the one in the middle, please show two fingers to the camera. And if you think is the one on the right, please show three fingers to the camera. Adrian shows one. What else? Adrian 2, Elena 2, Praise 2. Okay, it's good. What are these guys doing? Let's find out. The first one is using a high angle shot. What is that? That is when you put the camera on top of your head. And this shot makes you small, diminutive, petite. Is that how you want to come across? Don't get me wrong, there must be situations where you have to come small, diminutive, petite. For instance, when you're going to be fired, if you become small, petite, diminutive, your boss might change his mind. Who knows? This high-angle shot has a problem for men, especially for men. Ladies, I don't know if you have been told, but when men start losing hair, the confidence problems start. And the issue is that we have the camera pointing out here. So, men, if you have confidence issues, be mindful of this. Low angle shot. This is where the camera is underneath our head. And this is used by politicians all around the world. This is tricky because politicians have a committee of experts that help them to look good on camera. We don't. And what we do is taking the camera very close to us and pointing it up. What happened is that we show our double chin, whatever we have inside our nose, and the ceiling. I know. Some of you are very proud of your ceilings, but between you and me, the audience doesn't care. Now, what can we use? Eye-level shot. Who does use eye-level shots? The news readers at the news channels, Yes, they have been doing this for 60 years. So I think we can learn something from them. And you will see that they are always in the middle of the screen. Why is that? They want to show that they are unbiased. But I'm gonna propose you something different. Move to the right or to the left and use the role of thirds. What is the role of thirds? I'm pretty sure you know it. We divide the framing in 3 horizontal and 3 vertical lines, and wherever we cross those lines is the action point. If we place our face there, boom, is where the action happens. Here, I have free lot of space that can be used to move violently or not violently, and to use as well cool visual ads like this. So think about how can you spice your presentations. And finally, let me talk about something that is very important and can contribute to make you look cool on camera. And that is the background. As you can see, this gentleman is on the business of selling. Well, you can figure it out. Our background has to be clean, tidy, and look professional. Let me show you this other gentleman that you might know him or you might not know. Who is this? Yes, Gordon Brown, former British Prime Minister. What is behind him? A fantastic collection of books. Now that builds expertise. He can be talking about whatever he wants. You are going to listen because all the books behind say something. However, I personally have a problem with this. Whenever I see so many books, I start looking to those books. And this is a problem because it's detracting the attention from the speaker. And worse, what happens if Gordon Brown is reading 50 Shades of Grey? Yes, be careful what you read. It can be very dangerous. Also, whatever you do, no matter if you are expert or no, never use a window behind you. If you want to use a window, that's fine. Face the window, face the sunlight, and let that light make you beautiful or handsome. Now, as you might know, in Zoom, we can use as well virtual backgrounds. Let me show you something for scuba divers. If you are talking about going for a swim, you can use something related. If you are talking about coronavirus, please do not use that Caribbean beach that Zoom gives you as a default background. It has nothing to do with your topic. So please make sure you follow this advice. And now, I want to sell you my book. Buy. No, seriously. Here, we have all the theory. That's true. But what I really want you to do is to practice. And where can you practice better than digital communicators? So, if you think this speech has been worth of your time and you can improve here, I want to see you in the breakout room after this meeting. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much, Julian. Thank you. What I'd like you to do is to, via the Zoom chat, send messages to Julian either in public or directly to him, what you thought about his presentation, but also how you think he can do it better. It's really important that he gets feedback on that. Now, while you're doing that, I'm going to go and introduce our next speaker. And distinguished Toastmaster Lois Margolin feels the passion when it comes to mentoring. Having a number of solid mentors herself, she understands the importance of reaching out and asking, How can I help? This is the second time Lois is giving this speech, incorporating some of the evaluation comments from the previous one. Lois is working on motivational strategies, level 1, speech 2, with a speech titled, How Can I Help? Please give a very warm welcome to Lois Margolin.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day, my fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests. The year was January 2012. I decided I had to learn to speak in public because somehow I just got an elected position with my women's group. It was 7 in the morning. I walked up to this big gray door. I looked at this big gray door and I turned around. And right at that moment, that door opened up and out walked this gentleman. Are you here for Toastmasters? Yes. See, I hadn't had table topics yet, so I didn't know how to get away. Come on in, you can sit next to me. I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I am sitting in the back row and I am counting the minutes, so I am out of here. What happened next was really magical because this gentleman, his name was Frank, and Frank was bigger than life. Oh my gosh. Frank got up there and he did something I could not do. He made a mistake. Now, if that were me, I would have had to start my speech all over again with, hello, my fellow Toastmasters, but not Frank. Frank said, you know what? I missed something. Let me go back and bring that up. And I fell in love and I signed that moment, and surprise, Frank became my mentor. Once a month, Frank would call me, how are you doing? Can I help you? And you know what? Frank was there for everything. As I moved up in the Toastmaster world, I decided I wanted to be like Frank. So I put out my shingle, how can I help? I was so shocked when the first person said, could you be my mentor? And I thought, me? They're talking to me? Okay, let's do this. Well, there are a few things I learned about mentorship. Number one is you learn as much as you give. It's amazing what you can learn. You have to be positive, supportive, caring, open-minded. But here's the thing, the person you're mentoring has to want to be mentored. They have to be open. I finally got to the point where I asked people, why do you want me as your mentor? You see, I'm a certified public accountant in the US. I am a square individual. I do not have a lot of rounded edges. And isn't it surprising that doctors, lawyers, attorneys, other accountants, architects, all these very detail-oriented individuals come to me because they say, I want to be outgoing. Here's a secret. I'm an introvert. All this out stuff, it's all for show. Well, I started mentoring. And one of my favorite stories is a woman, Maria, who was a district attorney down in Miami and decided to go into private practice. And she was up for a promotion. She had to give a 3-minute speech in a few months to her bosses in California. Woo! I became her mentor. We met almost every week at a Starbucks. She would practice her speech, and then we would practice our body language. Are you sitting right? Are you slouching? If it's a round table, how do you look at everybody? What if it's a elongated table? We covered everything. The fun part was I learned something. As a mentor, I am the first person behind pushing you. I'm pulling you. But most importantly, I'm by your side. I'm walking next to you. I'm your cheerleader. I'm the one that's saying, you can do this. Let's go. She flew out to California on a Thursday night. And Friday morning, 7:30 my time, I'm already texting her. How are you doing? Of course, that was 4:30 her time. And her response was, I'm sleeping. Oops. About 12 o'clock, I texted her and I said, I know you've got an hour to go. Be calm. You're going to be great. And right before she walked in, I texted her and I said, I believe in you. You have worked for this. You've got it. Well, of course she had it. She texted me a few hours later and said, I got the job. Well, unfortunately, she quit Toastmasters, but that's okay. She got what she needed out of Toastmasters, and many people do that. I stay in touch with Maria, just like I do with Frank. There are so many people out there that are your mentors. Some are formal mentors. Would you be my mentor? Some are not so formal. Oh, you didn't know it. You're my mentor. I've been looking up to you for years. And that's okay. But the important part is that we as Toastmasters put out our hand and say, how can I help you? Because we were at the same spot they are now. We were there. We know what it's like. There's no better feeling than knowing that you can help someone get over their fear. You can help someone get over some idiosyncrasy. I know when I started Toastmasters, they called me the owl because every time I had to think, this is what I would do. And they're like, what are you doing? And it took my mentor a few months to help me get over that. It was not simple. I always wanted to close my eyes, look up, and open my mouth. Strange things, but that's what we do. And that's where a mentor comes in. So I encourage you, if you've gotten something out of Toastmasters, you need to open up your hand, put out your shingle, and say, how can I help? Because I guarantee you, there is someone just around the corner that needs your help. And after all, isn't that what we're all about? Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Lois. And again, please give Lois feedback, what you liked, what you think that she could have done differently to make it better in your opinion. And you can either send that to the public chat or directly to her using Zoom chat right in front of you. Now, we've had our two speeches for today. We've had a long one and a regular size one. I'd like to hear from a timer. Pam, how did the speakers do in terms of time today?
Okay, thank you, Nick. Julian was 13 minutes and 30 seconds, so he was in time. And Lois was 6 minutes and 11 seconds, so also in time.
Thank you very much, Pam. What I'd like to do is to launch a poll, and I'd like you to vote for your favorite speaker. I'm going to launch it now. Those of you who are co-hosts obviously can't vote. You know how this works, right? We're all into Zoom now, aren't we? Don't forget to give feedback to Lois, and also make sure you vote. And it's neck and neck. Julian's on the outside. Lois is coming in. Oh, here we go. We have a result. Well, somebody closed it. I don't know how. But anyway, that's fine. Now we're going to go off and go to our second segment today. We're going to have a table topic session. This is going to be somewhat different, so pay attention. The next speaker could be you. Please give a warm hand for our table topic master today, Joseph Oldham.
Thank you again, Nick. Good evening, everybody. I will be your table topics master for tonight. For those of you who've never done this before, table topics are impromptu questions that I will put to various members of you lovely audience. Whoever I choose will be expected to deliver a speech between 30 seconds and 2 to 2.5 minutes. However, and this is where it gets interesting, people, I will choose someone else in the audience to provide that speaker with a 60-second feedback evaluation on their delivery. So you better be on your toes. Let's begin with the first question. The first question goes to Rayan. Rayan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Wonderful. Rayan, what piece of advice would you offer to a newborn infant?
Sorry, would you repeat that question?
Sure thing. What piece of advice would you offer to a newborn infant?
I was born ready. That's was in my mind. I just felt that. The piece of advice that I can give to that newborn infant is that to be ready. To be ready to the things that can test his or her resilience. Because in life, resilience is a great thing. There is some circumstances that will affect your different aspects of your life. If you have that thing, everything will go smooth and all right. I lost my mother when I was just 7 years old, and that's really sad. It actually broke my heart. But I realized that if you are resilient, you'll always be connected with someone you love, even she's not with you anymore. So my fellow Toastmasters, I challenge you to become resilient in spite of everything, because you will become wonderful. You can inspire someone. Good evening.
Thank you very much, Rayanne. So the first person I'm going to call on for some feedback on that, Gerda, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello. So I thought it was a wonderful table topic. There was a lot of positivity there. There was some heartfelt moments. It was a tiny bit short. Not sure if she was on time or not, but I would definitely just say to her, just keep that practicing, because there was a lot of passion, a lot of emotion there, and it really made me feel for this table topic. So loved it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gerda. Okay, so our next question goes to Daniel Hennessy. Daniel, can you hear me? Is Daniel still on, or has he dropped off the call?
Go with the next one, please.
I think so, yeah. Okay. How about OG? OG, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Fantastic. OG, what is your earliest memory of achievement? What is your earliest memory of achievement? The floor is yours.
I stood before a crowd and I didn't know if I was going to make it. The task was simple, but for me, it was like the whole world dependent on me filling that task. I had to recite a poem in front of crowds that looked like 10,000. I think it was just about 150 parents and students. But it was such a huge responsibility on me. I was about 5 and I did my best. I remembered my lines. I thought I was going to fall over. I didn't fall over. And when I finished, they gave me a roaring applause. And that day, something told me, you can do it, girl. If you could do it in front of this sea of herds, and then you can do a show anytime, anywhere in life. That I tell you has also helped in my Toastmasters journey, in my work, and all the things I've got to do where I've had to stand in front of people to speak. Whenever we stand and whenever we speak and whenever we open our mouth, we impact people. We make a foundation for our own lives. And who knows the things that can come out of just stepping up, showing up, doing what you have to do and not running away. Thanks for your question, Joseph.
Thank you very much, OG. Ugne, would you provide a minute's feedback to OG, please?
Joseph, is that me?
That is you, yes.
No! I apologize. I was working in the background. May
Digital
I
communicators-
dedicate?
I'll just
May
say,
I-
digital communicators stay on point.
Yeah, may I dedicate this to somebody else?
Love your honesty.
Okay, next question. Next question is to Ray Bradnock. Ray, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Wonderful. Good evening, Ray.
Hi.
Question is, do you fit in or stand out? Do you fit in or stand out?
Well, it really depends. Do I fit in or stand out is an area that I've always wondered about as I've gone through my life. The main thing about fitting in is to do with my clothes, to be honest with you. When I was a bit younger, I was a different shape. I probably was an awful lot healthier than I am now, and therefore I could fit into absolutely anything, whether it was sports, leisure wear, even a suit to go to a wedding. It was absolutely fine. Guess what? I'm a little bit older now, so I stand out mainly due to the fact that I try to fit into the clothes that I wore 20 years ago, which causes me a few problems. And I often don't make it quite into the photograph. Looking back at Julian's and framing the pictures that I need to fit into, I often get asked to move left a bit, and then eventually I do actually leave the picture and the bride and groom are happy. So I don't actually appear in that. But all I can recommend is that I've set a goal for the next sort of 12 months to become much more able to fit in, whether it's new clothes or old ones, so that I effectively stand out for less. So I hope that covers your question enough, Joe, and I'll hand back to you.
Thank you very, very much, Ray. Pei Rong Chen, are you there, Pei?
Yes, hi Joseph, I'm here.
Hello.
So good evening, fellow Toastmaster, dear guests, and especially Ray. You were given a question that is a very difficult one, but you made it into a less intimidating one personally by inserting a humor, a joke in the beginning, trying to fit in your clothes. I like that. I like how you reversed the situation and made it in a more controllable sense. And you also did one thing that was really good, that you called out to what Julian has mentioned in his speech about framing yourself, and that was a good thing you did. I think overall in your speech, I understand. It was very clear to follow. I would have liked to hear more about not being able to stand out part, but I think you balanced it rightly. So that's my feedback. Back to you, Joe.
Thank you, Pei. The next question is for Iju. Iju, are you there?
Yep. Hello.
Hello. Okay, Iju, what was the most impactful event in your life and why? Would you like me to repeat the question?
Yes, please.
Okay. What was the most impactful event in your life and why?
The most impactful event in my life is when my little brother born. Was a great event for me. I was 17 years old, and I can remember that amazing day when, my little brother came into this world, and I felt immediately in love with with him, and I felt a big responsibility as well as his older sister. So when he is born, obviously I started, helping my mom, and I grew with him, and I saw exactly a lot of moments in his life. I saw when he started to walk. I can remember when he said his first word, Papa, and it was an amazing day. On my phone, I have lots of pictures and videos about him. And yes, this was a great event for me and impacted, my life. Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Iju. Amani, would you please provide feedback to Iju? No. Okay. Okay.
I didn't mean anything, but it's because of my language. Okay, that's the reason.
No problem at all. That's quite all right, Amani.
Thank you.
Michelle, is Michelle Lakanu there?
Yeah.
Michelle, would you mind providing Iju with some feedback, please?
Yes, of course. Iju, that was not the easiest question. I think you did fantastic with it. You chose a topic that many can relate to, so a topic that a new parent can relate to, but also a topic with anyone that has younger siblings can relate to. Yeah, of course, we all grow with people that are dear to us. And I think the way you shared it with us, candidly, and sometimes a bit shy, was something that we could all relate to. And I think we all took something aboard with it. And in terms of improvement, I say just don't doubt yourself and just carry on speaking. You had a good start, and I think you did pick up the more you spoke. So that's a really nice table topic. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michelle. The next question goes to TJ. TJ, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Good evening.
Good evening.
TJ, your question is, what life lessons do you wish everyone was taught in school? I'll just repeat that question again. What life lessons do you wish everyone was taught in school?
All right. What life lessons do I think everyone was taught in school? That's a big one because I have two passions in terms of things that I think should be taught in school. One is science. I think science literacy is a very, very important it's a very important skill. And as we can see now with the pandemic, trying to work out what is being said using legal language and political language is very different from what is actually happening on the ground in terms of the science of the pandemic. The other thing that I think we also should be taught in school is, as part of life lessons, is financial management. I think most kids simply know that if you want anything, you go to mom and dad. Unfortunately, mom and dad are usually not the right people to be able to help you with your finances. I think most kids should be running the family finances. Those are my two bits of advice, Mr. Table Topics Master. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, TJ. Vincent, would you please provide some feedback for TJ?
Certainly, thank you very much. Yeah, I loved your reasoning. You numbered them. You said, well, these are the key points. And I think that is brilliant and important. I would follow Julian's advice. I cannot see your eyes. The computer screen reflects on your glasses, therefore there's no eye contact. And also perhaps the background is not messy, but there's so many things. I look at your sofa at the back and I look at what your windows are like. So we get distracted. And if you give a message, it has to be clear. Therefore, taking off your glasses, and you can speak without your glasses, I can tell you that. And also, you sometimes when you think, you sort of look down. And again, these are sort of these three things. I very much enjoyed the way you numbered things that were clear and precise. I agree with financial education for children, a wonderful, bright idea. I would suggest take off your glasses and perhaps use a visual, a virtual background or something which allows you to not show part of your living room. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vincent. Okay, so our next question goes to Race, or Raise. Can you hear me, Raise?
I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you, Joseph.
Perfect. Ray, what are the first things you notice when meeting someone? What are the first things that you notice when you meet someone?
Excellent question, Joseph. And I feel like it's my lucky day because for once I've got a question that I can actually answer without filling the speech for 2 minutes. So I'll just fill it for 30 seconds today to set me on my way. But generally, obviously, I always hear what the person says, assuming they do say something, which most of the time when you meet somebody, they do. But then I'm always looking beyond that. And I'm a person who, over the years, has started to believe that a lot of what people say isn't in their words, it's in body language, facial expression, the way that they look in their eyes. There's a whole host of things that I'm always looking for. Tone of voice. I always think that tone of voice is something that tells a lot, really, because sometimes I see people say yes when they mean no. So I think that all the non-verbal communication is really what I look for more and more these days. And I tend to pay far less attention to what people say. And I'm looking for all the other clues that tell me what they don't say. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Ray. Thank you. Elena, would you mind providing Ray with some feedback, please?
Thank you. Thank you, Joseph. No, I wouldn't mind. I think Ray did a very good job. He was very confident in what he wanted to say, but a little bit unconfident in how he started. You don't really need to apologize, and regardless of what topic you get, you should embrace it, because we can talk about anything, lie and fool, and make sure we fill in those 2 minutes with whatever we have. And what you had was exactly your personal experience and how you approach a very, very common situation of meeting someone for the first time and focusing on what they say, how they say it, which is actually what we all do. So I think they did a very good job. And I hope for the next time he'll be even more comfortable and confident in any question that comes to him. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, Elena. Okay, so we have a couple of minutes left, and I'm wondering whether we can maybe fit one more table topic question in. So I think we'll probably call it a day for today, and I'll hand you back over to Nick.
Thank you very much, Joseph, and thank you very much to everybody who took part. Did you like shotgun? Did you like the shotgun table topics? Did it keep you awake? Yeah. Adrian was excited. Next time, Adrian, we'll get you on, okay? Now, I'd like to call on Pam to give us the timings for our table topic speakers, please.
Thank you, Nick. So first we had Raya, who spoke about the advice you'd give to a newborn for 1 minute and 16 seconds. Then OG spoke about her early memories for 1 minute and 18 seconds. Ray spoke about fitting in or out of his clothes for 1 minute and 26 seconds. Eju spoke about the impact of her little brother arriving for 1 minute and 22 seconds. TJ spoke about science and finances being taught in school for 1 minute and 25 seconds. And Ray spoke about non-verbal communication for 1 minute and 19 seconds.
Thank you very much, Pam. Everybody qualified? Yep, thank you.
Yes.
Now, we're going to go and vote for the best table topic. I'm going to leave this up for 60 seconds. So vote for your best table topic, please. So it's Rayan, OG, Ray, Iju, TJ, or Race. Okay, I'm going to give it 10 more seconds. Let's see if we can get some votes in. Okay, let's end the polling there. Now, we had table topic evaluators, didn't we? So I'd like you to vote for your favorite table topic evaluator. Again, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, you know what to do. Okay, 5 more seconds. And let's call it. Thank you. Now we have our evaluation section. In order to evaluate Julian Saraceda, it gives me great pleasure to welcome our guest from Ireland. Please give a very warm hand for Paul O'Mahony.
When you find yourself changing your background, within 2 minutes of the speaker recommending that you do so, you realize that you're in the company of an influencer. Julian, an influencer. You have your proof, Julian, right in front of you. I was books before I listened to you. Let's talk about impact at the start of a speech. Really, really important. What did the speaker do? The speaker came to sell us his book, didn't he? Showed us something, had us thinking he was selling us his book, but no. You're going to get an educational speech. Fantastic play with the audience. Brilliant misrepresentation of what we were going to experience. Superb example. Massive energy. Woo! We're going to go here. We're going to go there. We're going to go everywhere. Fabulous. Really the sort of impact you're going to, the sort of effect you're going to have on people who want high impact. Massive skill in structure. All sorts of pieces of it put together in a very easy to follow way. And a terribly clear call to action, a promise right at the very start. Do you remember him saying, I'm going to have a call to action for you at the end. I'm going to ask you to go into a breakout room. And in the breakout room, basically, I'm going to sell you membership of this club. We want you to join. Fantastic. This was a speech where the speaker showed. Do you remember? Do you remember the variation in the vocal variety as he talked about the ceiling? Okay, that's all super stuff. The guy can be better. The speaker can be better. I'll tell you how he can slow down. Let his words drop in. It is not a performance. It's an influence. Influence, not performance. Secondly, and this is the big point, if you want your audience to do something at the end of the speech, don't wait till the end of the speech to tell them what you want them to do. This was an opportunity for the speaker to say, here's how you appear on screen. We're the kind of club where you learn to do this. We want you to join so you can be as good as I am here on the screen. He can be more modest than that, of course. Several times throughout the speech, there were opportunities to say, we can help you with this. I'll be here as your mentor. Nick Lacani, your mentor. We got many people here. This will be a club which will have mentors, I hope. So, pulling it together. Impact, fabulous. Showing, fabulous. Clear call to action. Next time, many more repetitions of the same call to action. Toastmasters, thank you.
Thank you very much, Paul. Really appreciate that. And to evaluate lowest Mongolian speech, please welcome Ola Olaigbe.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The most impactful part of Louis' speech is our body language, as you can see, moving around with different body movements. Massive use of our hand gestures describing with expression was very impactful with the speech. And I believe we all observe different vocal variety. A good example, when she was making reference to Frank, how are you doing? How can I help you? We all were able to enjoy the use of our vocal variety at different intervals. She making us know, what can I do to help you? A catchy topic, how can I help you? Definitely help ignite a lot of curiosity into our speech and making everyone to pay attention to know, how can I help you? Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I believe we all notice a key message on mentoring, which definitely helped fulfill our speech objective of speech 3, level 1, on the importance of mentoring, which is perfectly in line with the content of our speech. And on a Toastmasters club like this, mentoring is very important. Areas of my recommendation for Louis include, to me, a virtual background could have been better using a plain one, as our body movements at some point were was distracting us. I would have loved her to be involved in some pause fillers at intervals during transitions of the structure of the speech. That would have allowed we, the audience, to absorb more of those points. She said, it would have been great. She could have numbered the main importance of mentoring. She was only able to do just for one with a good side example. You learn as much as you get by you making sacrifice in mentoring. Also, I observe it would have been great she giving us a time frame, what is expected for a Toastmaster mentoring to be able to go through, which will have been a good guide for many of us who are involved into mentoring with our mentees. But in general, fellow Toastmasters and guests, I believe Louis have able to impress us on the importance of mentoring. She has able to make us understand it is very important we strengthen the relationship of a good mentor and a mentee, even if they are out of the Toastmasters world, as she gave a good example to one of our friends she still keeps contact with. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, join me in congratulating Louis on doing a great job and fulfilling the objective of our speech on mentoring. How can I help you? Definitely, she has helped us by enlightening us with our speech. Over to you, the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ola. Thank you for that. Now, Pam, how did they do on time, our evaluators?
Thank you, Nick. Absolutely fine. Well, just about. Paul was 3 minutes and 23 seconds. I was hovering over that mute button, and Ola was 2 minutes and 56 seconds.
Thank you very much. Well, we have our voting for the best evaluator. So you know what to do. In the meantime, don't forget that you can always put comments in the chat and so on as well. Show your support, show your appreciation for speakers and so on, and anybody taking part. So let's end the polling there. 5 more seconds. I think we've got everybody that we need. Thank you for that. Now, we have our next report. Our next report is from our, our next report is from our grammarian who's been listening very closely to this whole event. Please welcome back Colette Ainscoe.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Well, what a meeting. I don't have enough time to get through everything, but what I will say is what I've noticed were 8 uses of the word show, which was the word of the day. So well done to anyone who used the word of the day. I laughed to myself and I thought if the word shot had been word of the day, my God, we'd have broken all records with Julian's speech. The use of language was absolutely beautiful for the whole meeting, but in particular, and with the theme of being lights, camera, action, I'm going to hone in on phrases that I heard. So hopefully something will trigger a bell inside you, which will help you going forward in your Toastmaster journey. First of all, Nick Lacani opened up with lights, camera and action and told us to pay attention, which is what we need to do as Toastmasters. He also told us how this meeting was to run like a TV show, and that it has so far. Roger told us, gave us a live report, which was absolutely excellent. And Julian talked about extreme and close shot, and how used words like spectacular, and also used the phrase practice, 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 and to tell us to make sure our hands are in the frame. Lois talked about what was really magical at Toastmasters. I think we can all relate to that, and told us that we learn as much as we give as a mentor. Paul O'Mahony, wow, Paul, what an evaluation. You told us that we were in the company of an influencer, and I can relate to that because I've been influenced by everybody at tonight's meeting. Okay, let me talk about, Ola talked about putting curiosity. That's what Lois did with her speech, and then talking about phrases used in the table topics. Rayon said, be ready. Oji said, I did my best and you can do it, girl. Ray said, guess what? I'm a little bit older now. Well, aren't we all, Ray? Iju said, she fell immediately in love with her little brother, and we could feel that emotion and we could see it. TJ said, parents are not the best to teach life lessons. You are right on that, I am one. And Rhea said, a lot of what people say is not in their words. It is non-verbal communication that's important. All of these things are relative to us as online digital communicators. If something resonates with you, use it. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Colette. Thank you. Now, to finish our reports for today, I'd like to welcome from Mauritius, Distinguished Toastmaster, Mr. Christian Ramchan.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the part I hate the most, being generally evaluated in such an amazing meeting. So let me start. I got sent to a breakout room. I didn't know what was going to happen. And this is where I meet the first role player, greeter Josh Helston. If I have a recommendation for you, Josh, is maybe to vary the questions you are asking the audience members and keep the engagement flowing. Having said that, you were engaging as hell because you were not only patient, but you were listening and interacting with me, and your smile, oh my God, I'm so happy I'm straight and single. I don't know, well, married, but you got me connected with you and wanted me to stay. Now, the VP technology, I didn't know what it was, but it was good because the Toastmaster who introduced that role did everything right. Protocols, renaming, language, meeting, recording, muting, and he shared the theme. What I would have loved to do is maybe have some punch, get me excited. It's a bit challenging to do, especially after the breakout room and before the presiding officer, but that's something to consider for next time. The presiding officer, well, he was into it from the get-go. He set the scene, he shared the pros of the club, and he told me to join the club without doing a hot sales to me. That was amazing. My recommendation is be mindful of your time and do not share too much of what's going to happen. Let me discover. And maybe you want to state the mission of the club clearly. Boom. The next person was the role player, our timer. Oh my God, what a fantastic job Toastmaster Pam did. She was clear on the timing signals, on the explanation, on the good reporting. my recommendation is do consider the detailed timing that you were practicing in the chat so that we could follow and apply them later on. Our grammarian, again, on the mark, clear explanation on the roll. My suggestion is have a more challenging word than show, but hey, that's my perspective. It was pleasant throughout. Clear report at the end, constructive, specific examples. Love the energy. Love reporter, Roger Mejas. Never heard that. Amazing. I saw his chats coming up. That's something that I'm going to take away for one of my clubs. In terms of our speakers, they have been evaluated. In terms of their evaluations, what should I say? They were examples to follow. The first evaluator, Paul O'Mahony, did everything that for me, it was an effective evaluation. I would have maybe invited my speaker number one, to consider audience interaction for such a long speech, engage your audience, and making sure that they do take something away. Evaluator number two, exemplary. I'm taking a lesson from you, so I'm going to reach out to you so you can coach me there. Picture perfect. Only thing is, it's a speech. I was looking for you to make it personal. Maybe you could have had the cherry on the top. Lois, this is what I see you doing right now for the next of your life in Toastmasters, because you are filling the dots and make it personal. Really connect with her because you already built it up. And remember, it's not a contest. That means you can mix with addressing the audience and addressing.
Thank you very much, Mr. General Evaluator. We had to find one and we did it today. Well done, Pam. She's got her finger on the mute button. Now, that is the main part of the meeting done. As Toastmaster, I'm going to hand over to the presiding officer. Before I do that, I just want to thank all the role players, all our speakers, all our evaluators, all the functionaries did a fantastic job, and thank you. Now, as president of this fine, newly formed club with our first meeting, I'd just like to say thank you all for attending. We do have a couple of things that I'm going to go through right now, which first of all is the awards. And it gives me great pleasure to actually have the Best Speaker Award for, drum rolls, Julian Saraceda. And our best table topic, drum rolls again, OG. Best table topic evaluator, drum rolls. And it is Michelle. And our best evaluator, drum rolls again, Paul. So well done, everybody. Well done for that. In terms of what we're going to do now, as I said, the main thing about this particular meeting was to just go with it. In a few days, we got it together, and we had 60, 65, nearly 70 people in the room at any given time today. That's not bad. Now, what happens from here? We're going to open up a breakout room where you can talk to our Vice President of Membership and our Treasurer to actually go and talk about joining this great club. No problem, just go and ask your questions. And even if there's no compulsion to join today, tomorrow's fine. Just kidding. You get the idea. You can go and have a chat. Now, over here in this room, we're going to have 15 minutes of chat and so on. But the main thing about this club meeting is it will start and finish on time. If you have any more questions, I'm happy to talk to you in this room. And if you have, one of the things I'd like you to do is to make sure you sign up for the next meeting, which is on 2 weeks today. It's the 25th of January. We will send you an email to give you a reminder and so that you can actually sign up. Also, one of the things that I would ask you is give us feedback. I'm going to put our club email address into the chat in a few minutes. And so give us feedback. Let us know. If you've got my WhatsApp number, WhatsApp me. I don't mind. We've got our website. In fact, there's a contact form on there as well. You can actually put feedback on there. There are a number of different ways to give us feedback. How else are we going to get better? I'd just like to thank all of our club members, everybody who turned up today, but most especially the whole of you for coming today. It fills my heart with a lot of warmth that you were able to come to a very first meeting that we were involved with the digital communicators, and personally too, this is the first club I'm going to go and charter, and hopefully the first of many. It's 7:45 p.m. UK time to close the meeting, and I'm going to go and switch off the recording. Thank you very much.